Hello all. In today's video we are going to focus on the manual testing tutorial. As many of the requests coming from the beginners, they want all the concepts or in brief knowledge for the manual testing or which point they need to study. So by considering their aspect or their view, I am trying to explain the basic concepts of manual testing over here. And if you are a fresher and if you are preparing for the interview or the next interview, if you want to switch a job, then also this video is useful for you to go through all the basic concepts related to the manual testing. So here I am trying to cover the most of the important points related to the manual testing. Means we can say the key concept or the key points or whatever will be the necessary points which are related to the manual testing. While preparing for the manual testing, you can go through this particular video. So first we'll look at the introduction of software testing, or what is meant by software testing. So basically the software testing is a process of evaluating software application or a system or whatever will be the product or the software you are going to check. You're going to identify the defects or the bug and to ensure that it meets the specified requirement and quality standards. Means when you are evaluating particular software or product, you are checking whether the expected output is matching with the actual output, and you are trying to find out the defects or the bug if there any. So this is what the definition of software testing. Then the next is what are the different types of software testing. So basically the manual testing involves executing the test cases manually without using automation tool. So automated testing, on other hand, involves the tools and scripts to automate the execution of test cases. So there are main two types of software testing. First one is a manual testing and second one is a automation testing. So what is the role of manual testing in the software development lifecycle? So basically the manual testing plays an important role to ensure the quality and the reliability of software application by identifying the defects and the bugs in the early development process and verifying that the software meets the user requirement. Means what? The basically you are trying to find out the bugs or the defect in the early development stage. So you can consider an example when you are the development of whole software is complete and then you find any bug. So it's very difficult or tedious task to remove that bug. Means redevelopment work will be there. So if you find the bug in early stage, it will be easy to fix that particular bug and it will not impact on the other or the next modules of the software. So this is the main role of the manual testing. Next is the fundamentals of manual testing. So here in fundamental of manual testing, we first need to understand what is manual testing. So the name itself suggests that the manual testing allows a tester to verify the software functionality or to validate the software functionality, user interface, performance by executing the test cases manually, and it offers the flexibility and adaptability in exploring the software's behavior from users perspective. Then the types of testing. So basically the functional testing focus on verifying the software behavior against the specified requirement, and non-functional testing evaluate the aspects such as performance, usability and security. Then what are the testing principle? This is mostly asked question in the interview. So the testing principles are like testability, independence, completeness, guide the testers in designing and executing the effective test cases while ensuring throughout test coverage. Then the testing process and methodologies is the main part. So in testing process and methodology, the first one is a software testing life cycle, that is STLC. So what it means? So STLC basically includes the phases and the activities involved in the testing process. So it includes the test planning, test case design, test execution and test reporting. Then what is meant by test planning? So basically in test planning include the defining testing objectives, scope, strategies to ensure the efficient and effective testing. And test case design In test case design, based on the requirements and specification, using techniques like a boundary value analysis, that is BVA, and equivalent partitioning to ensure the comprehensive test coverage. So I have made one video where I have explained the boundary value analysis and equivalent partitioning. You can go through that video. Please check it on in the playlist of manual testing, or otherwise I will give the link of it in description box. Then the next is test execution. So the test cases are executed in various test environment using proper data, and test results are recorded for the analysis. Then test reporting, the test report provides the insight into test progress, defect discovered, and overall quality metrics, facilitating informed decision making. Then the next is the test documentation. So what actually include in the test documentation? So first is a test plan. What it include in the test plan? The test plan outlines the testing approach, resources, timelines, and ensuring alignment with the project objective. Then the next is test case and test script. What it include? So basically test case and test script. Test cases document include the step-by-step instructions for executing test case, and while test script automates the repetitive test procedures. And what is meant by test scenario, or what it include in test scenario? Test scenario describes end-to-end user interaction with the software and helping to validate the critical workflow and user journeys. And in test report metric, the test report summarize the test result, its metrics, test coverage, defect density, test execution status, and providing stakeholders with the visibility into project health. Basically, in test report, whatever the testing you are done, its result, its analysis, its metrics is included. Then the next important point is a defect management. So what it include in the defect management? So first mostly important point is defect life cycle. It's a mostly asked question. So defect follow one life cycle. It include different stages or phases. So first phase will be identification of defect, then log in the defect into particular tool, then prioritization of defect, assignment, fixing, retesting, and closure. For example, there is one software you are going to test and you find one particular defect. So first thing you have identified the defect or the bug, right, which is not matching with the expected output. So you are going to log that particular bug or defect by using the tool, maybe Jira, ALM, anything. Then you are going to prioritize that defect, then it you are going to assign it to particular team, then you are get it done fixed. Then once that particular bug is get fixed or the defect is get fixed, you're going to retest it, and if retest is successful, you are going to close that particular defect. Is what the defect life cycle. So understanding this cycle helps in effective defect tracking and resolution. Then the next important point is the defect tracking and reporting. What it include? So basically, defects are tracked by using different tools like Jira, Bugzilla, or many other tools are available in the market. So every organization is using different tools. So by using any dedicated defect management tracking tool, you are going to track that particular tool. So tester logs that defect with the detailed information, including steps to reproduce, expected behavior, actual result. So regular defect reports are generated to monitor defect trends and prioritize fix. Then the next is defect severity and priority. So basically defect severity indicates the impact of the defect on the system functionality or usability, while priority reflects the order in which defect should be fixed based on the business need and project timelines. Then the next is functional testing. The next point, functional testing includes what? The types of functional testing. So basically, the name itself suggests the functional testing means you are checking the functionality of particular software, whether the functions of the softwares are correctly working or not. uh, are they working according to the specified requirement? So it includes the various types of testing like component testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. Means what? The unit testing means you are checking the individual component. For example, you have developed a student management system software, okay, and you are going to test that particular software. So there are different modules. Means you are going to log in the student, you are storing their result, and then you are checking their attendance. So for example, there are three modules: login, result, and attendance, okay. So in unit testing, what happens? You are checking the each and every component. Means you check the login page, then you check the attendance page, then you check the result page. And integration testing means what? You are combining that particular component or different pages. Means first you are going to check the login page along with the attendance, login page along with the result. So this is what the integration testing. And in system testing, you are going to check the entire system. Means you are going to log in or register particular student, then you are checking their result and attendance. Means you are going to check whole system. And in what happens in acceptance testing, it testing against the user requirements. Means whatever the user has given the requirements, you are checking against that the different requirements are fulfilled in your software or not. Then the next is testing techniques and methodology. So what include in the techniques and methodology? So functional testing is technique, it is having the different techniques like equivalent partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table to design the test cases that validate the system functionality comprehensively. Then the text coverage means what? It measures s- uh, how much or the how much coverage of that particular software has been tested, or it include the statement coverage, branch coverage, coverage to ensure all code paths are exercised during the testing, or how much software is get test is nothing but the test coverage. Means you are going to measure the whether all the code or all the modules are tested or not. Then the non-functional testing means what? So basically, the non-functional testing here, you're going to check the performance, usability, compatibility, and security of software. So performance testing is measured in response time and scalability under various loads, while usability testing is check user experience and interface design. So basically, in non-functional testing, you need to use some tools, because for example you need to check the performance testing, and you are going to check the same example we'll take the student management system, and I want to log in the more than thousands of the student to check whether that much load is handled by your software or not. So it's impossible to manually making the entry of more than 1,000 students. So we will take help of any particular tool to check the performance of the system. Then I will tell you simple example. If I am going to register one student, okay, then I will check how much time it will take to register that student is nothing but the performance testing. Means you are checking the response time. In security, you are checking how much secure your system is, and you are going to check the user experience and interface design. Means you are going to check the whether that particular software which is developed is meeting the user experience, or whether it is user friendly or not. Means for example, there is one page, and I am going to search the close button, but I can't find, because it the standard way is close button should be at the top right corner, but that particular software is having the that particular close button in the taskbar in the middle. So it is not meeting the standards na, because user is habitual with the searching the close button at the top right corner. So this is what the user experience, or you can say the interface testing, or whether it is user friendly or not. So it includes under the non-functional testing. Then the techniques for non-functional testings like load testing, stress testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, security testing, validate the system attribute beyond the functional requirement. Then the next is test criteria. So basically, non-functional testing establish a criteria for performance metrics. For example, response time throughput, usability heuristic means efficiency, then compatibility, whether your software is compatible with the different browsers like Chrome, Edge, or Safari, anything. Then platform compatibility, security vulnerability means authentication, authorization. These all are the test criteria for non-functional testing. Then the next is exploratory testing. The name itself suggests that exploratory testing involves the simultaneous learning, test design, and test execution. Here, as a tester, you will explore the software's behavior dynamically and uncovering the defect and anomalies that may not be evident through the scripted test. You're going to explore the different bugs. So what are the techniques comes under the exploratory testing? So exploratory testing technique include the session based testing, where tester conduct focused on the testing sessions with a specific goal. Ad hoc testing, whether the tester explores the software without predefined test cases. Then what are the benefits and the challenges? So exploratory testing offers the flexibility, adaptability, rapid feedback, and however it requires the skilled testers with a domain knowledge and may lack repeatability compared to the scripted testing. For example, you have to test the investment banking project, so you must have the basic domain knowledge, then only you are going to search or explore the different things. So the one you can say the drawback of this particular testing, or the you can say the requirement of exploratory testing, is you must have the domain knowledge. Then the regression testing means what? The purpose or the significance of regression testing means you are ensuring the recent code changes do not adversely affect the existing functionality. Means retest modifies an impacted area to software, detect the regression and verify the stability of application. Means I have developed one login page, after that I have made a next page. So when I am adding the next page along with the login page, I'm going to check that that particular developed next page will not impact the functionality of login page. This is what the regression testing means. I'm checking the existing functionalities are working fine when I am adapting a new changes. This is what regression testing. So what are the techniques for selecting regression test cases? So regression test selection technique include the retesting all test cases, selecting test cases based on the impact analysis, then prioritizing high risk areas and using automated regression test suite. Means whenever I am adapting a new change, I need to check the previous functionalities. Are they working fine or they have impacted due to this particular new change? Then what are the strategies for efficient regression testing? So the regression testing strategy involves the maintenance, regression test suite, automating repetitive test case, then leveraging version control system, adopting continuous integration practice to streamline regression testing process. So these are the efficient regression testing techniques. Then what are the tools and technologies related with the manual testing? So basically, in manual testing tool will help the tester to test case management, then defect tracking and test execution. So for example, test trail for the test case management, Jira tool is used for defect tracking, and HPLM, that is application lifecycle management tool for comprehensive test management. So these are the some tools which comes under the manual testing. So depending on the organization, there are the various tools are also available, but basically these are the some tools which are mostly used or widely used. Then hands-on experience with the popular manual testing tool. As a manual tester, you must have the hands-on experience for the tools, for creating test case creation, execution, defect logging, reporting functionalities. You can use this particular tool which are freely available in the market or which are the open source. You can get a hands-on experience. Then integration with the other testing process. So manual testing tool integrate with the other testing process, such as automation testing tool, continuous integration and continuous deployment, that is CI/CD pipeline, and the version control system to enhance the collaboration, traceability and efficiency. Then the next is best practice and the tips. What are the best practice and the tips? So creating effective test cases. As a manual tester, you can practice more to writing a test cases. So test case should be clear, concise, relevant to your software, and it cover both positive and negative scenarios. They should be based on the requirement and user stories with a detailed step, expected result and precondition. You can make a practice, make a habit of writing test cases. Then efficient test case execution. As a tester, you should prioritize the test case based on the risk criticality, focusing on the high impact areas first. And they should ensure the proper test preparation, execute the test systematically, and document the test case result accurately. Then what are the strategies for improving test coverage? As a tester, you should employ a risk based testing technique, identify the critical areas for testing. It should maintain the traceability between the requirement, test cases and defect, ensures the comprehensive test coverage and effective test prioritization. So as a manual tester, try to write down the test cases in very effective way. Try to maintain the test case result, and try to improve the test coverage while writing the test cases. Then the next important point is real world example and case studies. So basically the common test case scenarios are what? So basically the common testing scenario include the login functionality, user registration, checkout process, search functionality, and data validation. These are the, we can, you can say these are the universal test scenarios, or these are the basic test scenarios which includes mostly in the every software. So these are the common testing scenarios, you can practice on it. Then the case studies include the demonstration of application for manual testing techniques in the real world project, showcase the challenges faced on the solution implemented, lesson learned. They provide the practical insight into testing methodologies, tools, and best practices. So try to find out the different case studies related with the different application. Then the most important point is the interview preparation. As a manual tester, how you are going to prepare for the interview? So basically, the common interview questions are there. So you can firstly prepare for or focus on the common interview question. So common interview questions for manual testing, like it covers the different topics like test case design, then defect management, what is defect life cycle, then testing techniques, testing tools. It include the simple questions like what is the test case, how do you prioritize the test case, how can you describe the defect life cycle. Otherwise they will ask you one scenario, and they will tell you to write down the test cases for same, or they will ask you for the different tools which you are using for defect management, or explain about your project and how you log the defect. Then how you make the report of that particular defect, how you maintain the evidence or the metrics for the defect. So these are the some commonly asked interview questions. So I have made a separate video which are related with the manual testing interview questions which are mostly asked. I will give the link in the description blocks, as well as in the cards, which you can find it in the top of this particular link or in description box. Then what are the tips for answering interview questions efficiently? So firstly, prepare for how you are going to answer the questions. Means, as you know, these are the some commonly asked questions, so make a practice of answering that question. How can I explain this particular answer in very effective way? Then tips includes the understanding the question, providing clear and concise answer, support the response with the example, past experience, and demonstrating problem solving and critical thinking skill. Then preparation strategies, it involve the reviewing manual testing concept, then practice the manual, you can say whatever will be the mock interviews where will be there, study the simple questions answer, and try to gain a practical experience through the project and the internship. Try to find out the any online material will be available. Do you get any internship related with the project? Try to gain the different domain knowledge as a manual tester. Practice writing the test cases for different domain. Practice for the answers, practice with the mock interview. You can practice that particular interviews with your friends or the any of your colleague. Then study the different basic concepts. Means the answer will be on your tip of tongue for the at least for the basic concepts, so you can be more confident while answering. So these are the some points which I have tried to cover for manual testing interview or manual testing tutorial. So these are the basic points. You can prepare for all these points. You will and you can easily crack your interview, or these are the some points you can consider while preparing for the manual testing. So thank you all for watching video. Please do comment on which point you want next video. Please find all the videos which I have posted on our channel. Please go through the playlist and write your questions or the queries over here, and please do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you all.